here with Chris and Brian here with your live show. We're live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And, finally broke the hex last night. I was on a 4-game losing streak on my big play, my biggest losing streak of the year when it came to my big play. And I've had way longer winning streaks than that losing streak. I said that before, but finally, and I'm telling you, it came down. It was like, up by 2, top of the ninth, first batter, home run. It's like, man, 4-3. Then he walks the next 2 guys, first and second, nobody out. Oh, man, it was one of those, So I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, but at the same time, I got the W, and I'll take that any day of the week. It's always fun to end a losing streak. And especially when I haven't had the best baseball season. I know that, but it's like my $15 big plays have been straight money, Brian actually, has started like really slow on those $15 plays. I mean, really slow he started. But lately, man, he is unstoppable. How many in a row have you hit now on those?
I guess I should be keeping track, but I don't want to jinx myself. I've hit a few in a row.
It's like 5 in a row or something, maybe.
Yeah, maybe yesterday. 5. What was good about yesterday is I think the Diamondbacks were the play, and they were up so big that I didn't have to worry. Well, you always worry about the Diamondbacks and their bullpen.
Mark Melanson's on that team.
I went to bed thinking that I probably was going to win the game. So
that's craziness. And then I get.
There were some letdowns yesterday. The Pittsburgh Pirates, I thought they were going to do it, and you were right about the Boston Red Sox. And,
they own the Guardians. They own Cleveland. They freaking own them.
And shocker to me, when I give out really public plays like the Houston Astros run line and the Dodgers as free plays, that means take the other side because I'm terrible at that. I thought the Nationals was shocking to me that they got the win, but that's baseball.
To no one's surprise, the imitators are out there on Ron's rundown. Obviously not putting up the numbers that Ron does or producing the show, but even down to the transitions, like just straight thievery, and they act like they've done something. That's what I love. They're probably using our betting tools, It's like probably like the other kicking the balls on it. It's like some crappy ass site, I'm not even going to mention them, but it's like just a straight up, not even, it's like shameless. The transitions are exactly the same. So it's just a shameless stealing of the concept. It's like, of course, there's been other free pick video. I mean, we were the first ones to do free picks on every game, every day, right? So everyone else is basically a copy of us anyway. But the thing is that, and there's been other videos where people have done all the games and other videos where, individual games and all, it's all been done before, but it's like down to the freaking transitions, like stealing that. It's like, yeah, people can stoop lower than that. They do all the time. So I'm not saying people can't stoop any lower. Believe me, some of the things that, people that used to work for us are doing now, and the people they associate themselves with, believe me, they go way lower. It's like, what I'll do is to get back at Mitch, I'll just associate with the scumbags of the earth. Like it hurts me or something. It hurts them. It's like, it's laughable.
Well, they can copy some things, but they don't have Romanelli. So
no, they don't have Romanelli, and they don't have our following, and they don't have a lot of things. And we are bringing in a couple of new cappers. I'm really excited about them. 2 guys that were in the contest. I know one of the guys has been in touch with me, and the other guy, I don't know. He contacted me through Instagram, and I kind of said he was okay. And then I told him how to contact me, which is, never through Instagram, right? And I have not heard from him again. So maybe he's contacted me through Instagram. Maybe he hasn't. I don't know, because I don't check it, I check it. Maybe I should start doing my Instagram play, but I'm still not going to, accept communication that way. It just doesn't work that way. Yeah, I didn't even tell these guys that we have these 2 guys. 2 guys that did actually really well in the contest that could have won, So I'm excited. 2 young guys, 2 guys that won. I get emails probably, I don't know, 10, 15 a week of people that want to join the site as handicappers. People do it different ways, different types of effort. Some people say things like, here's my experience that I have. Here's a video, of me applying for the job, right? That get a little creative. Yeah, I think I'm going to go back to doing dog of the day on Instagram. I'm going to start today. If I had my phone with me, let me see something.
Well, you could put that on TikTok too. Maybe.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it while we're on the live show just to get it started. I'll do it in a little bit. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, one of the guys I spoke to on the phone yesterday, I like him. Your guys are gonna like this guy. I'm telling you that much. He's kind of respectful, but I know what he's up to. I know this. We know these guys. It's just like Ruffalo. Ruffalo's good at playing dumb. That's his shtick. It's like he always acts like he didn't know.
That's not a cookie I'm eating.
Is it in my treadmill? I'll do the dog of the day right here on here to get it started again. That's what I'll do.
Or maybe I should give that play out first so you don't take it.
No, there's no taking.
I'm just teasing you.
There's no taking it. But
that's my play. You're not allowed to give it out.
Yeah, I get emails from people saying, I'm better than Brian. I get that all the time. All this stuff. I'm like, Brian's been doing this for 15 years. He has like kind of a documented track record of like home run seasons, like no one's business. If you look at his, Brian will have some bad picks, and I give him a hard time about it, and I give him a hard time on the show, and people will say I pick on Brian or whatever. Brian also knows he has someone to call when he really needs somebody, and that's the difference. It's like I might give him a hard time about some of the details, but he knows, if like anything ever really went wrong, that you have someone to call, and that's always a nice thing to have. And most people, Brian's worked at other sites where that isn't the case.
No.
And he'll, where it's the opposite, they say, too bad.
Yeah, the only thing with new guys is they just gotta stick to it and show up every day and put the work in. Some people give up after a month or two. I
don't want to hear I'm better than your guys. I don't want to hear that because everyone is better than everybody else on one day. I have days where I whip Al McMorty's ass. I have days where I whip his ass. But let's just say he's been on the business end of it.
He's always on the leaderboard.
He's always on the leaderboard, man. It's like I am not even in the same sentence as him, when it comes to straight handicapping. I'm going to pick the games. I'm going to hit games that are like a little bit more off the beaten path than he is. And he's going to have the voice of reason plays that I can't make, right? He's going to take the Dodgers, to win, plays that on principle alone, I can't do. So someone here says bad gambling day yesterday. I had a winning day yesterday. Brian, you had a winning day yesterday?
3-0 yesterday.
Yeah, I was 3-1 yesterday. I had the Pirates. They lost at the end of the game. I had a chance in that one.
My free pick sucked yesterday.
So did the favorites get beaten on? Is that what happened?
I think it was a little bit of a mixture yesterday. I mean, you had some favorites like the Chicago Cubs come in,
Yesterday was a feel-good day for me. I thought like my Orioles, they came flying through for us. The Rockies on the run line, right? That was
an excellent call.
Yeah, it's like we rode
I was
that.
Disappointed that I didn't take Nationals though. I hate
that Rockies run line versus the National League Central is just so money. It's just so money. It's crazy. Oh man, I'm in a good mood today. You know what it is? It's running in the morning. It really helps me. Running. It's like I'm up. I did 2.5 miles today, so I'm getting a little bit more. I did a top end of 6-minute miles, but I did it just at a 6-minute mile pace. But I did it only for a minute, and I did 3 or 4 separate minutes of 8.2 miles per hour. So that's like a little over 7-minute miles, pace. But the bulk of it, I ran at about a 6.2 mile an hour pace, which is really slow for me, but it's a little less than a 10-minute mile. So I'm getting there, a week in, and I could feel it, but it's like I got a long ways to go. The problem is I'm too fat. That's the issue here. It's like I'm carrying around a little extra COVID baggage, still. So, I got to drop that, and it'll make it easier for me to run faster. Right, Rufo?
Plus, you're getting up there in age too, just like me.
It's okay if I'm getting up there in age, because when I run competitively, I'll run against people my own age, competitively, and I believe I can hit the podium again. I was able to do it in 10 years ago in my age group, and I was able to do it against people younger than me as well. And I also believe that, you know how I started running, right? Is that I was running in the gym. Like, I had never really run before. I was always a rollerblader, and I never really ran at all. And I started running, and it was just one of those things. It's like so weird because everyone hates running so much, right? We hate running. And it's like all of a sudden I'm on the treadmill, and it's like, wow, I can actually do this. And it's like I got into a thing, and one day I did like 10 miles on the treadmill. And then I just started figuring that I could go do these 10 miles or 8 miles or 6 miles a lot faster than what I was doing it, because I just want to get it the hell over with, right? So it's like that's the whole idea, is that you just run faster to get it over with faster. And then one of these young guys, like in his 20s, comes up to me and asks me, he says, do you ever run competitively? And I'm like, no, in fact, I've never run not on the treadmill. He's like, come running outside with us. He goes, I run with a bunch of guys most of the days of the week. He's like, come running outside with us. He goes, you can run with us, man. He goes, I know it. He goes, you'll be able to run with us. And I ran with those guys, and I'm telling you, man, I can hang with them. So it's like, I think it's just, I'm stubborn as hell, right? So it's like, that's part of it. I'm just stubborn as hell. I just refuse to take no for an answer. And it's like, I can't quit, right? So I just plug on. And it's like, the other part is I hate running so much. I just want to get it the hell over with. So I run quick. It's like, I want out. Soldier Field 10 mile, my first race I ever ran. I wanted out, I was at mile 7, and I'm out there by myself. When you get out there, when you run races, at the beginning, it's like this pack of, 10,000 people. But once you get out past the 4 or 5 mile mark, if you're even 3 miles, if you're running, if you're running better than 7.5 minute miles, you're basically out there by yourself. There's other people out there here and there, scattered people, whatever, but you're basically running by yourself at that point. There's the spacing in that group, you're in their top 5% of the race. The spacing out there is just, whatever. But I remember at Soldier, man, some guy came flying up behind me, and he's like, let's go. And we just went, man. That was it. But, I look forward. Hopefully I can get back to those days. Anyways, let's get to baseball. What the hell am I talking about anymore? I'm just wasting time. trying to give people time to show up for the show. We've got afternoon baseball at Wrigley. Keegan Thompson taking on Bryce Wilson. Hunter Green taking on Pablo Lopez in the Reds-Marlins game. And then we've got Aaron Nola and Spencer Strider in what should be a doozy at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. Chris, what do you think?
Well, for these ones, I was looking at in that afternoon matchup. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I like the Cubs in the first 5 minus half a run. It was, if you just take a money line, it's sitting around. I know. If you take a money line in the first 5, it's sitting around like minus 180 to minus 190. But if you lay the half run, it's around minus 125. Bryce Wilson, just not a pitcher I'm looking to back. I don't think he's figuring it out, and I don't know if he's going to be able to figure it out at the major league level. And the Cubs still, again, as difficult as it is to stay, playing pretty decent right now. So I don't know how long it's going to last. I'll take the Cubs first 5 minus half a run. And I'm also going to take the Miami Marlins. Hunter Green just can't keep the ball in the ballpark. 23 home runs allowed this season. The Marlins top 10 in the majors in home runs against righties on the road. I think this is going to get ugly. I'm going to take the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, I muted you. I had to take the earphones out, so I didn't really catch most of what you said there. But I know one thing, and that's, that Chris reminded us of, that we haven't really seen from him in quite some time. You are foolish and lack vision. Brian?
I missed that.
Well, I'd love to get on the Pittsburgh Pirates at this kind of plus money against the Chicago Cubs. It just, Bryce Wilson keeps me from really getting in on a play, even just for entertainment purposes. I think in this slot, I'm going to take the 2 plays in the Phillies-Braves. I'm going to take the over 7.5 because I think Aaron Nola has an inning where he gives up a bunch of runs. But overall, I think he makes it 7-8 innings today for the Phillies. And I think Strider Also gives up some runs to the Phillies. I think yesterday was a momentum builder. I think the Phillies get another 1-run win. I think the Phillies get another win today by 1 run, and I think the game goes over 7.5 runs.
I'd say the Braves aren't really teams that drop a lot of back-to-back games, and they've dropped back-to-back games heading into this one. So losing 3 in a row for the Atlanta Braves is probably a pretty big stretch. But I love the Pirates also, Chris. I'm with you. I just think they just pound the Cubs in this one. The Cubs are not a good team, and we're getting really good value because, well, Bryce Wilson is starting, but starting pitching doesn't mean that much because we've seen Keegan Thompson get lit up like a Christmas tree as well. So I'm really not all that concerned. I like in fact, I like the Pirates lineup better than I like the Cubs. I think with the Cubs, there's a little bit of uncertainty around the Wilson Contreras situation here at this point, and I think that once he goes, the rest of the team will pretty much cave in behind him. And at this point, it's just, I don't know. I think he's going to be trying a little bit too hard. So he's the only guy they got. Him and Happ. I think Happ and Horner are actually good players for the Cubs, but that's about it. They don't really have much else. So
two of the last 3 starts for Bryce Wilson haven't been too bad, though. He's made it 6 innings in 2 of the last 3. So maybe he sticks around today.
Maybe he's found his game.
Hopefully. I mean, I'd love to take the Pirates. That's a lot of plus money. It's just I'm a little scared.
Anyways, I'm gonna go with the under in that Reds-Marlins game. I don't feel it. Don't love that game, to be honest with you. But we move on to the next set of games. How about those guys copying Romanelli? And then some guy came up with the thing Ron sucks or something, and did all these comments about how Ron works for the sports books or whatever. It's yeah. It's pick on me, not on him. I mean, the guy's a Boy Scout. Anyways.
Yep.
Pretty much, It's like an honor student, It's he's certainly not the guy that if that's what you think of him. I mean, I can only imagine when you think of your cousins and family, because this guy's he's the type of guy that's you leave, $10,000 on the table, you leave the house for 3 or 4 hours and you don't have to worry about it at all, Anyways, Orioles-Rays, we got the Blue Jays against the Cardinals, and the Mets and the Yankees, just a 2-game series here. Chris, what do you think?
This Rays-Orioles game, another game. I'm going to take a first 5 line. I'm going to take the Rays minus half a run in the first 5. I just think Shane McClanahan, the best of the bunch. And, Spencer Watkins, he's been a nice piece for the Orioles during this winning run that they've been on. But last time he faced the Rays, gave up 3 runs without recording an out before getting pulled. And you can't do that with Shane McClanahan on the other side. McClanahan just not giving anything up this season, a sub-2 ERA. Right up there with Justin Verlander, I think, for the AL Cy Young discussion. But I'm still taking the Rays minus half run in the first 5 in that one. And I'm also going to take the New York Mets and the over in that one. I just think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I just give Taijuan Walker the edge to go deeper in the game than Jordan Montgomery. And I think I leaned more towards the over, though, in that game. You look at the Subway Series, it's always been high-scoring. So give me the over.
Brian?
Yeah, I think we got 2 pretty good plays in this slot here. I think my top free play today, I probably should have it as a premiums at Tampa Bay. Rays minus 1.5 against Baltimore. Usually I'm a big-time Orioles guy, especially at home on the run line. They've been excellent. But I think McClanahan, who's a Cy Young contender, I think the Rays bounced back from yesterday. And Watkins has looked better over his last half dozen or so starts. But I just have a feeling that this line is high for a reason. I think the Rays get to them. And then Cardinals-Jays, I think Barrios at minus 220 is crazy. I know Cardinals are missing their 2 key cogs on offense. But we saw what happened when the Kansas City Royals went to Toronto. They took care of business. I think at this price, you have to take a shot with the Cardinals.
I'm going to agree with Brian here. I'm going to take the Cardinals. I love them. I don't just like them. I love them. I think that there hasn't been a square play all season in the Toronto Blue Jays today. There hasn't been a more public play. I think we have seen actually a scenario like this, and it's called the Houston Astros yesterday. And there's a reason they play the games. And I think I think if this was like the Washington Nationals and they're missing Soto and, a few of their other guys like that, the first baseman, a few guys like that, I could see it really being a big, big deal. But the St. Louis Cardinals have one of the best farm systems in sports, not in baseball, in sports. These guys, you can ask like any pitcher that's ever pitched for the Cardinals in their farm system what it's like. And I think that a lot of the pitchers, when you hear them interviewed with other teams, they say, "Oh, you came up with the Cardinals, right?" And like I watch all the games, so I hear all the interviews when the guys are in the booth. I don't listen to every game, but when I see a guy in the booth that I want to hear what he has to say, I listen to it all the time. He's like, "I came up with the Cardinals, and the first thing they did was teach me this, and they taught me this, and they taught me this." Trust me on this one, man. The Cardinals are loaded in the farm system, and not having Goldschmidt and Arenado, yeah, it hurts, especially with the tear that Goldschmidt's been on. But we're talking Jose Barrios at minus 200 plus. I don't think so. Not Barrios. I don't know. It just seems like such a sucker play, right, Brian? Kind of like just a sucker.
I don't know. No, yesterday, Nationals and Dodgers was a Sanchez on the mound. It seemed like an easy Dodgers win, and they even suckered me into thinking they were going to cover. So it is today also.
And I don't know. I like the Orioles again with Spencer Watkins against McClanahan. I think we've seen this about 1.5 million times where a guy starts the All-Star break. Basically, he's the leader for the Cy Young Award. He starts the All-Star game. And then the second half of the season, they just have a meltdown. I can name 2 or 3 off the top of my head if you'd like to hear them. Taijuan Walker last year at the All-Star game. We got, Chris Sale. Chris Sale times 5, right? How many times has Chris Sale started the All-Star game for the American League and then just tailed off in the second half of the season? I don't even think, to be honest, though, I don't even think McClanahan would have been the starter if Justin Verlander was played in that game. So in McClanahan's defense, but he did get absolutely rocked in that game, and it did nothing to help his confidence. And speaking of Paul Goldschmidt, oof, oh boy, McClanahan's just happy that Stanton hit the home run, because if not, it would have been Goldschmidt with the MVP with the home run off of McClanahan, which they would have been showing on all the highlights, which they did anyway because there wasn't a ton of scoring this year. Anyways, the Mets, they scored some runs finally the last time we saw them, but can we count on them? Chris, what are you selling today?
Well, for me, I got my $15 pickoff play. Fortunately, fell short with the Braves yesterday. Still 12-3 in our last 15 pickoff plays. I'm going to try to bounce back today. That play. I also got a couple more plays I might put up in a 3-pack, but for right now, just a $15 play at Pick Dogs Premium, and take advantage of Christmas in July. You're running out of time to do so.
How about you, Brian?
Got some strong plays today off 3-0 yesterday. Four of the 5 bases coming back from the All-Star break have been positive days. I got my interleague game of the year today, just $30 at pickdogs.com, or my titanium play, $15 also. Or you can get those 2 plays in my 3-pack. It's my Gone Streak in 3-pack for $50. That gets you a guaranteed profit on the day, so make sure you check it out. Don't miss Christmas in July. Chris Ruffalo's #1 last 30 days. So you want to check us all out. I'm trying to head towards #1 at 7 days, so make sure you take advantage of the special prices.
I've been terrible, but my $15 play has been hitting like no one's business. So I'm just going to continue to ride that horse, and I'm going to ride that horse. And I won yesterday on my $15 play, and I really like mine today as well. So I'm going to ride that, and I've got a bunch of other plays for long-term subscribers. It is Christmas in July. These are the less expensive prices of the year, least expensive prices of the year. I don't want to call it cheapest, but it's the least expensive. My yearly is over $500 off. So a lot of people ask for coupons, ask for discounts. The reason Christmas in July is here, these are for the people that hang around all year long, and that's why we have these prices. We don't put it in the middle. Hey, welcome to football season. I'll discount the hell out of everything. It's like, it doesn't work that way. The people that are, I only bet football. I do this. We don't discount for them. We discount for the people that are here all year. And it comes out to, Brian figured it out. It's like
$2.73 a day.
$2.73 a day. Depending on how many picks, it could be like 27 cents a pick or something. So even for the small bettor, it can pay off. This is where it works for a small bettor. If they buy a long-term package, even if you're $20, $30, $40, $50, bettor, $10 bettor, it's not enough. The cost of buying the pick doesn't damage your winnings. Anyways, we go back to today's action. We've got the Tigers taking on the Padres, the Red Sox and the Guardians, and the Brewers against the Twins. The Tigers they wrecked the Padres last night. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know if they'll be able to do the same here, but I'm probably gonna look at the under in that game. The Tigers, still struggling against right-handed pitching, and Mike Clevenger, he's starting to garner a lot of my attention because I was starting to watch a lot of his stuff, and he pitches really well. He pitches with a lot of intensity, and I just don't know if the Detroit Tigers are going to be able to handle that. But Garrett Hill wasn't terrible in his last start either. I just envision this being a low-scoring game, maybe a 4-2 kind of game, whichever way you have it going. So give me the under 8.5 in that one. And I'm still leaning towards the Minnesota Twins. Dylan Bundy's really been turning a season around on the road. At one point, about a month and a half ago, he had a road ERA up over 8, and now it's closer to 6. And I know it's still not a great number, but this looks like a bullpen game for the Milwaukee Brewers. I think the Minnesota Twins get to the Brewers bullpen here and find a way to win this one. So give me the Minnesota Twins on the money line.
Brian?
For me in this slot grouping, I'm going to start off with the Boston Red Sox. I know that line's pretty high, juicy at minus 150. But I should have listened to Mitch yesterday. I had the Guardians, and the Red Sox just seemed to lately, they've been handling them. I think they won 4 or 5 straight. And Winchowski, however you pronounce his name, he's actually probably the best option for Boston, which isn't really saying too much. But the Guardians going with a bullpen game here, and their bullpen does rank, I think, about 11th in ERA in the major leagues. I think the bats are going to be hot here for Boston. They take care of Cleveland. And then I'm going to do my Al Nino special here. I'm going to take the Padres -1 against the Tigers. I think Clevenger had a good start. I think he's been good overall, but the Padres haven't been scoring enough runs for him. I think they get a little bit of revenge today. So I'll take San Diego, but I'll lay a run.
I like the Padres, Clevenger. I struggle with this Brewers-Twins game. I think it's going to go over. Look at that total, 9.5. They're begging you to take the under. I'm going to take the over in that thing. I think we're going to see Bernie the Brewer possibly burn a hole in those pantaloons. I'm going to go. We'll go to our next set of games. Angel Zerpa's got a job. He's pitching for the Royals, and he's up against the Angels today. We got the A's and the Astros, the rematch. And then we've got the Rockies and the White Sox, 2 teams that I think are super similar this season. But the White Sox, of course, in contention. They're right there. They just can't seem to get over the hump. Chris?
Yeah, I think about Zerpa's. I think he was on the side of the Royals in that bullpen game when they were in Toronto. They were a -450 underdog at -450 and still found a way to win that game. I think he could do it again here. I'm not on this Angels team regardless. I know Jose Suarez has been decent, but yeah, the Angels are on my no-fly list. So give me the Kansas City Royals. And I'm going to go towards the over 10.5 in that White Sox and Rockies matchup. Germán Marquez has pretty much been getting torched wherever he's been pitching this season, especially at Coors Field. And Michael Kopech, he's got the stuff. We've seen it, but he's still been struggling with some command issues. And even if he only goes 5 innings here, I think this is just one of those spots where you get a higher scoring game, something like a 7-4 kind of game, or someone finishes 11 or 12 runs. So give me the over 10.5 between the White Sox and Rockies.
I'm not buying into that. I think the White Sox have been way better on the road than they have been at home. And these games for the White Sox on the road and at Coors Field in general, these have been unders. It's just stone cold unders all the way. I like the under in that White Sox Rockies game. Brian?
Yeah, in that group, and I do agree with Mitch. I think we'll see an under in the White Sox Rockies game, but I think we'll see a Rockies win here. I have been high on the White Sox a lot this season. I think they'll end up winning the division. I think we see typical Chicago baseball where they just can't put together a nice winning streak. Marquez, Herman, 4 of his last 5 starts have been okay. And I'm a Michael Kopech guy, but I don't see him going more than 5 innings here. So I'm going to take the Colorado Rockies on the money line. I'm going to take the KC Royals on the money line again today. I don't think it'll be as easy as yesterday. I just think this Angels team is a bunch of bums, overpaid bums, and Suarez has been getting hit hard recently. So I think they'll get to him again. So I'll take KC money line. I'll take the Rockies money line.
I like, besides that under, think that the Angels are just terrible, and now I'm hearing it finally. I started the rumor, or I certainly pretended to start the rumor that I originally thought it would be Trout that would be dealt, but it looks like it's going to be Ohtani, and we think Soto's going to bring in a haul, but I think it's going to be Ohtani that brings in the big haul here for the Angels, and it's going to help them a ton in the future. And we're going to see a different Angels team, my guess, going forward in the next 2 to 3 years than what we've seen in the last 20 years, which has been go out and get all these high-priced free agents and spend big money. And I think we're going to see them do what the Baltimore Orioles are doing, And I think that might be the way to do it, and the way that the Cubs kind of do it, at least try to, and the Red Sox, have done it with Theo Epstein when he was there. And I
wonder if he goes to the Yankees, Ohtani.
I think it's a possibility, but I think the San Francisco Giants are where he's going to land, to be honest with you. But that's just me. I think it's a perfect fit in San Francisco for Shohei. But it doesn't get any more perfect than that. But we'll have to see. I believe the Giants are certainly. I know I've heard the Giants rumored in the Soto Derby as well. So we'll have to see what happens there. But the Giants never shy at the trade deadline or to trade. They are one of the White Sox and the Giants are two kind of understated big traders out there that trade all the time. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it be the Giants with the Angels in this one for Ohtani. And I think he solves 2 big problems for the Giants. 2 big problems. And I think that's, if you can get a guy that solves 2 for 1, well, you can give up twice as much for him.
Imagine his contract, though. It's going to be insane.
Well, San Francisco happens to be fortunate enough to be the 4th best TV market in America, and it also has it also will be losing the Oakland A's as a same city team, and it will be at the same time, they sell out more games than anybody. So I just think that the Giants, no problemo for them. Remember that Hunter Pence trade a few years ago? Oof.
Yep.
They didn't think twice, and they were out of it that year. They were out of it. They were like, it was like, oh man, they're going to get rid of Hunter Pence, and he'll go on somewhere the next year. It was like they signed him for like 20 years, and they did not even think twice about it. They are.
I liked Hunter Pence.
Of course,
like a hard-nosed player.
He was like that's what the Phillies could use a Hunter Pence right now. They could use a Hunter Pence, a guy that kind of like Hunter Pence is a motor guy, right? We all love motor guys, right? The guys that kind of not as good as some of the other players, but they try hard enough and they're close enough, right? They're not they're not like they're not like Craig Stamen or like Chris Stratton or something. They're they're better than that, but they're not Trout, right? And they're not Ohtani and Soto, right? But they're kind of Hunter Pence was kind of that next level down, maybe not a Hall of Famer, but kind of like a very good player in his day, all-star a few times, type guy. But a big motor, big motor.
Lenny Dykstra.
Right. Lenny Dykstra is invited over poker at our house anytime. But, the thing is that the Phillies need a guy like that. And, the Giants just, they just need something. They need one more guy. And it's like he's perfect fit. The Giants did the same thing. They got Evan Longoria. It's like they've done this and they've been there, done that. They signed Cueto to like $25 million. They don't think twice about it, man. And no one beats them up on it. It's like they signed Cueto for what, $20 million plus a year, right? It's like no one even said anything. I didn't even beat them up on it, right?
They've had some bad deals.
Oh, they've had some horrible deals. Horrid. What
was that lefty they picked up from the Oakland A's? I forget.
I don't know.
I forget. Anyway.
But the thing is, you go back over the last 15 years and you look at the Giants and you say they've got 3 rings over that period of time and you would take it. For what they've done salary-wise, for all those different things, there's not a team out there or a fan out there that wouldn't take that. At least you got your rings. And the inventors of Grateful Dead night. I've got 2 Jerry Garcia bobbleheads from that. Anyways, we'll go to our next set of games. It's interesting right now because August 2nd at 6 p.m. is the trade deadline. So we are in the crunch. So Sunday is the 31st. Monday is the 1st. Next Tuesday, a week from today, is the trade deadline. But it's like, if you're going to trade, why not do it now, and get the guy on your team as soon as possible. Get the help you need. That's what I always say. Get the help you need. I say that to all of my trolls and stalkers. Get the help you need. Anyways. Let's go to the next set of games. Wow, it's getting to be a long show. We got the Mariners and the Rangers, 2 good young pitchers in this one. We got the Diamondbacks and the Giants. And we've got the Dodgers against the Nationals. I like the under in that one. Josiah Gray. 4-0 to the under. Dodgers. Last 4. I like the Giants against the Diamondbacks to bounce back with Rodon. And I like the Mariners. Jorge Kirby. If he was Spanish, we could just call him George because he's not. Chris, you think there's a market for the Jorge Kirby on if we do it on if he pitches like on what do you call it? Cinco de Mayo or something that like we can. We could sell some Jorge Kirby jerseys.
That's marketing at its finest. You put the sombrero with the big mustache on and put it on a bobblehead. That's like first 15,000 fans, absolutely. But I'm gonna go with the. I'm gonna lean towards the Giants, but I think I like the over in that game a little bit better. I know we're used to probably seeing a lower scoring game at Chase Field, but Carlos Rodon in his last couple starts against the Arizona Diamondbacks has given up 4 runs in each. He could fix that here, but I think by the time all's said and done, especially with that Arizona bullpen, we have a game that gets closer to 9 or 10 runs. So I'm going to take the over 8.5 there. And I'm going to take the under 8 between the Mariners and the Rangers. I just expect this to be a low-scoring battle. And I just think it's going to be a bit of a pitcher's duel. And I'm starting to like what I'm seeing from George Kirby. I've watched a couple of his last starts, and I wasn't a fan early on, but I'm starting to really get into watching him pitch. So give me the under 8.
All right. Chris digging on Jorge Kirby.
Well, for me in this slot, I agree with Chris. I think we're going to see a pitcher's duel with the Rangers and the Mariners. But for me, I'm going to take the Texas Rangers, but I'm going to take the plus 1.5. Run line on the road for the Rangers, 30-18 this season. Mariners playing a ton of one-run games. They're 20-28 on the run line at home. So I'll take they're a little bit juicy. I'll take the Rangers plus 1.5. And then the Nationals plus 1.5 here. I think maybe I'm just addicted to Josiah Gray, but I think he gets a crack against his former team. I think he keeps the Nationals in it. And the Dodgers win by 1, but the Nationals cover the spread.
I like the under in that Mariners Rangers game. I really like it. I think Dane Dunning is a guy that we've seen melt down in the second half of the season a lot, but he's getting, now he's like a 3-year veteran, right? So it's kind of like now he knows what it's going to take to be good in the second half. And it's like, I think that's what it is, that these guys are playing more games than they've ever played before, when they're these rookies. So Kirby came up kind of, a few months into the season. So he's really not, past that threshold. And Dunning, I think, is going to be better. I think we see an under there. The under in Mariners games against the AL West at home is like, it's an automatic. It's an automatic. I'm taking that under. And I think Rodon is a better pitcher than what we've seen. I don't believe he deserved to be an all-star this year. But I thought he was last year, for the White Sox. But he's a better pitcher than what we've seen, and I expect him to be really strong. I think the Giants, like I said, I think they set it down. I think Shohei Ohtani is going to be wearing a Giants uniform.
I think if he would go to the Giants, then you'd have 3 pitchers that'd be very tough to stop the Giants, with Rodon.
And the thing is, the Giants, they'll sign Ohtani for a 20-year deal. They will not even think twice about it. They have a lot of money. I mean, they are the 4th largest TV market in America. It's like, and it's pretty close, to where they are. It's New York is obviously one, and then you have L.A., Chicago, and these guys. I mean, it's a monster market, and then good expensive tickets to go with it. How about the Mariners, though? Like, they always seem to find a way, right? They just find a way. So weird. It's like they throw the wild pitch last night. They fall behind 1-0. Then they score on a wild pitch. They don't take advantage of a million opportunities to score a bunch of runs. Hit a couple solo shots here and there that seem meaningless and seem like padding and seem like insurance runs, and ends up being the insurance run. These guys play these 1-run games like no one's business. It's like, man. It's almost like, taking Mariners to win and the other team plus 1.5 just seems to be, the best opportunity for a middle, that there is out there. And I guess on these plus 1.5s, you probably have to pay up in a lot of scenarios. But my guess is that bet is probably, we'll have to find that out. Exactly what that's.
It's funny. Yesterday I liked the Rangers plus 1.5, so we both won yesterday.
No, I think against the Mariners, getting a 1.5 is as good as it gets. I mean, they play in more 1-run games than anyone. How many 1-run games have they played in this year?
I believe it's minus 140 on the run line, but I have to look here.
Teams with the most 1-run games: Seattle Mariners, 21-12, not including last night. So 22-12 in this season. They've had 34 1-run games. It's every third game. It's more often than every third game is a 1-run game. So in the games that they lost, if you had the plus 1.5, you would have won those. And then the other ones, you would this is gravy. This is about as good as it gets.
And if there's a spot where you'd want to do it, it's against a Rangers team that's 5-21 in 1-run games.
And besides the Rangers being 5-21 1-run games, every time the Rangers are up at bat, and I said this in that first series when they played against Toronto earlier this season, every single time a guy comes up to bat, I feel like there's going to be a home run. It's like every guy in the lineup can smack it out of the park. And, even he down 0-2, it really doesn't matter, with these guys. Anyways, parlay time.
For my parlay, I'm going to take the Colorado Rockies money line, Texas Rangers plus 1.5, and the Tampa Bay Rays on the run line minus 1.5.
I'm gonna go a bit different today. I'm gonna go with a home run prop. Or a parlay. I'm gonna go with Randy Arozarena to hit a home run and Aaron Judge to hit a home run plus 1,300.
I'm gonna go with the Mariners Rangers under. I'm gonna go with the White Sox Rockies under. I'm going to go with the Twins Brewers over. So all totals, totally parlay on that one. Oh, by the way, we talked about it earlier. I'm going to start doing my dog of the day again on Instagram. We're going to start today doing it. Let me just pick somebody off the board and see who it's going to be. Let's pick one. And all right, here we go. I'm gonna do it right with you guys. I'm gonna do it off the top of my head. What do you guys think of this strategy?
Behind the scenes?
Well, it is. It's not behind the scenes. It is the scene. It's the scene.
Break into the fourth wall.
It's the scene. All right. So, this is how I do it. You guys ever wonder how it's done? Here it is. I've taken all my time to write my script. All right. Hi, everyone. Mitch from PickDogs.com here with your free Dog of the Day pick for Tuesday, July 26, 2022. Of course, we do the Dog of the Day here on Instagram every single day, starting again today. And, of course, we have Major League Baseball action, so today's Dog of the Day will be in Major League Baseball. Of course, if you're looking for my best bets from some of the top handicappers in the world today, you can find those over at PickDogs.com and at SportsChatPlace.com underneath the Premium Picks tab. Take advantage of that Christmas in July pricing. Lots of handicappers red hot in Christmas in July, those year-long packages. But let's get to today's free Dog of the Day pick. And this one, let's head to Baltimore, where the Orioles are taking on the Rays. Shane McClanahan gets the bump for the Rays. We've got Spencer Watkins on the mound for the Orioles. You know, McClanahan started the All-Star game for the American League, usually the kiss of death. And the Orioles, well, these guys just finding a way to win. They find a way to win here. I'm going to take the Baltimore Orioles, call them my Dog of the Day. There it is. All right. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. I'll be doing the Dog of the Day every day, not live on this show, but I'll be doing it every day. So be sure to check that out. Brian and Chris, thanks for joining me again. And let's make it a winning day, and let's make the world a better place by taking the book's money.